Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mind Your Mission. We're super excited today just to have a catch up episode, sit down with you guys, and just tell you guys what's been going on in our lives and also share our summer bucket lists. I feel like it really feels like summer out right now. So I think it'll be super fun just to share what our goals are for the summer and what we plan on doing. So, did you want to start, Erin, and just give us a little bit life update of what we've been up to in the past few weeks?
Yeah, I feel like it's good that we're doing a catch up episode because life has been busy. I feel like we're 2 months into being back to work. It feels like longer, honestly. I feel like we've been back for a while. And I think that's because there's been so much jam packed into the last 2 months. I mean, since we got back, like we made lieutenant. Well, you actually made lieutenant in February, which is kind of a funny story. But we promoted to O3, which was fun. My parents actually made the trip out to come for that, and that same weekend before we promoted, we went to the Rededicate 250 event in DC, which was really fun. We waited in line for 3 hours with, a baby and a toddler. That was not so fun, but it was really cool to be at that event in Washington, DC, and to not only be there as we, like, rededicate our country to the Lord, but also I think Sadie Robertson had the best speech that day because she was talking about how we all need to individually rededicate ourselves to the Lord, and that hit home, especially for me this last couple months because since things have been so busy, I haven't really been in the Word as much as I would like, and I have, like, every excuse in the book, busy working mom. My 7-month-old hasn't been sleeping the greatest, so, you've been up in the middle of the night, which makes it more easy to justify sleeping in, all these things. So I haven't been in the Word very much, which I'll kinda get into some of my, like, spiritual reflections in a minute, but yeah, it's been busy. After that weekend, the following weekend, we went camping, which was so fun, but also busy. I went to the zoo one weekend when Nolan was traveling by myself with the kids, which was fun, but chaos in the best way. Yeah, so the weekends have just been jam-packed, and then the week, obviously, I'm at work. So it's been busy. This last weekend, we finally had like a catch up, stay at home, clean the house weekend, which was very needed. I felt behind on a lot of things. Okay, I'm back, but I switched cameras because my camera died, and so you had my nice aesthetic background for about 20 seconds. Here we go. Um, where was I? So yeah, it's been busy, but busy in a good way, and for the most part, in a good way. I would say that there are a few things that I've been struggling with, and they are control issues, one, and also just anxiety that I haven't had really ever before in my life, I would say. I think the control side of things comes from just baby sleep in general. With my first, he was a really good, easy sleeper, and there was every opportunity to focus on controlling his sleep because he was my only kid, and because I think naturally I'm learning now in hindsight as I'm trying to do it with another baby that, like, he just was a naturally good sleeper, and the Lord blessed me with that, and knowing that I needed a first easy go. But things like teething, like, I never noticed with him, like, he did great through all of it. He'd never rolled, and so, like, we didn't have to deal with that transition when it came to sleep. So, that was never a thing, that was easy. Any other transition, like starting solids, like, everything was pretty simple with him. And so with my second, it's by no means, like, hard from in comparison to what I've heard from a lot of moms where you're waking up, like, every hour, you see every hour on the clock, like, it's not that by any means, but for the last, like, month, at least, we've woken up at least once a night, and she still sleeps in, like, in the morning, she will probably sleep till 6:30, which I know, like, with Weston, he was an early riser, so there was that, like, in a sense, I'm glad she sleeps that long. Anyway, all that to say, it's been really tempting to try to control it, but at the same time, I just simply can't control a lot of the variables that I could control with just one baby. Like, on the weekends, we could choose to stay home and then literally never leave the house because she sleeps 2 naps and Weston sleeps 1 in between her 2. Like, we could just never leave and never do anything. But, like, I don't wanna live that way, so in a sense, I'm choosing the inconvenience of inconsistent sleep over not going anywhere.
I feel like whenever I know James will sleep through the night if he gets his naps in, and we're like super strict with that, but I don't want to be that way. Like, I want to be able to live my life. So sometimes I just bite the bullet 'cause I'm like, well, I want to do things. So it's fine.
Yeah,
But yeah.
exactly. So it's like, in my head, I'm like, because I do think it's a balance. I feel like with my first, I'm glad I learned that there are things you can do to control baby sleep because I do think it's important for babies to sleep well and to have them in some sort of consistent rhythm, not necessarily a strict routine, but just a rhythm. I do think that's important and it's good for both us and our babies. But this time around, I'm also learning that there is other variables in play where you might choose to not be as strict. I'm choosing to not be as strict as I was with my first. But yeah, it's just been hard because I haven't been sleeping as great as I want to, which is a fine line. Like on one hand, I want to fix that because that's, that'd be great for all of us. But on the other, it's like, okay, the Lord can sustain me. Like I don't need to be so desperate for a perfect night's sleep. Like that is not, even though it's really tempting to think that that's going to be the fix for any of my, like anger that I feel throughout the day or lack of energy. Like that's not, yes, it's going to help, of course. Like having a full night's sleep is great, but the Lord can sustain and fill in the gaps. And I haven't been turning to Him. So that's kind of one thing I've been feeling recently. And then the other is just a lot of anxiety that I don't think I've really ever had before in my life. I would say that I've definitely felt stressed throughout my life, like just, by the nature of circumstances, I've been stressed in a lot of different seasons for good reasons most of the time. But this is the first time I've really felt like anxious and I think that's for a few different reasons. One, haven't been in the Word as much, so that doesn't help, of course. Two, I think that one thing a friend that I was talking to was putting words to is that with your second baby, there's more of an opportunity to stress about things that you didn't necessarily notice with your first. Like since you're not trying to figure out how to do things, you're more so worried about like the level of excellence to which you're doing things, or you're worried more about like the inner workings and just like getting something done. So like solids, for example, I feel like I'm less stressed about like how to introduce solids, but there's more room to stress about the intricacies. I don't know if that fully makes sense, but, like, I think I've just been, like, thinking almost too deeply into a lot of things, which I think is kind of a temptation of just, like, the crunchy world in general right now. Like, sometimes it can be really easy to, like, step over, like, being good stewards into trying to control. But then the other thing, there's just been a few instances. For example, when we got off of our last Mind Your Mission Zoom call, we were literally talking about mom guilt and literally talking about like baby sicknesses on that call. And then I get off the call and Haven started stirring, which again, she'd been kind of inconsistent with falling asleep. So I went down to check on her. I picked her up and she just puked everywhere. And I was like very caught off guard by it. I had never even thought in my head, like, that a baby could throw up that forcefully.
It happened to me too shortly after that happened to Haven. I think it was him. Learned how to use a sippy cup and he like drank too much water and then
Mm,
like
yeah.
but like after you said that I also got thrown up on probably maybe a few days later. And it was I didn't know babies throw up either like that.
Right, and I guess I, like, using my brain, I could, like, comprehend that that's possible, but I was immediately, like, freaked out, spiraling, like, not at all, like, using my logical, common sense brain, so what happened was Haven ate bad avocado, like, we had been camping that night before, and I had just given her avocado that was left over from the weekend of camping, which it had been out of the fridge for over 24 hours, and so, like, it was brown. Avocado turns brown, so in my head, I'm like, it's fine, it's just brown avocado, she'll be fine." She had had avocado before, no problem. But yeah, this avocado was clearly bad. So one, I felt bad because it was definitely my fault, but my brain didn't even go there when she first threw up. Like when she first threw up, it wasn't like, "Oh my gosh, her tummy must be a little bit upset. She has to get this out of her system." It was like, "What's wrong with her?" Is because when she would throw up, she'd like, gag. And I was like, "Did she swallow one of Weston's car wheels? Like, is she allergic to this?" Like, she's had some like eczema on her skin too. And so I was like, she has food sensitivities and her stomach is really upset and she's gonna be dehydrated. Like I spiraled. And I don't usually do that. I'm usually like the one who's like, "It's okay, like just ride it out." Like to any other friend in this situation, I would have been like, "It's okay, like she's probably just having an upset stomach. She needs to get this out of her system. Like she'll be okay. Just hold her, comfort her, like keep her upright." Like I would have been able to common sense my way through it. I also just have the basic medical knowledge to know that like she was fine. She's not dehydrated. She was inconsolable. Like she was happy when she wasn't like actively throwing up. So I knew in my head nothing was wrong. I spiraled, and I think something that made it 10 times worse and has been just something in general that I've been using way too much is ChatGPT. I didn't I mean, Google was a thing when I had Weston, but, like, not AI to the level that it is now. Like, in the past 2.5 years, it has, like, drastically changed, and I, with Weston, didn't search things as frantically as I do now, and I don't think it's healthy. I think it can be a great tool. Don't get me wrong. When you're in like the right headspace and like trying to research things or trying to troubleshoot things that are specific to your situation, I think it's great. But like I was saying about the verse in Matthew, like, look at the birds in the air. Are they like worried about where they're going to get their food? And I'm like, no, neither are they searching ChatGPT frantically. Like the birds don't have to have all the information and neither do I. And I think like having access and being able to ask certain questions has made me like go and do that over waiting and seeking the Lord in those moments. So like that night, for example, I could have just, sat back and said, "Oh, I'm going to enjoy this time like just sitting with my baby and cuddling with her. Like I'm just going to hold her so she can sleep." Like I could have just like rested in that and physically rested, like slept with her just on my chest, right? Instead, my phone was right there. I kept searching question after question after question, like, okay, at which point should I go to the doctor? Should I notify somebody tonight? Like all these different questions, none of which were helpful at all. And I think that it's so tempting to think like, if only I know this, or if only I understand this more, like then I'll have peace or then I'll feel content. But no, it's only in seeking the Lord that you'll have peace. And you cannot force peace to come from more knowledge, and it's exactly the temptation that Adam and Eve faced, right? Like the tree of knowledge of good and evil, like they could be like God and know more. Like so I realized that and I realized that like I need to put boundaries on it. Because another thing happened a few days later when we were at the zoo, and this one was silly too because again, common sense can walk me to a like very sensical conclusion. We were at the zoo and I'd given Weston a snack and then I had handed Haven the wrapper so she could just like play with it because she just likes, playing with the crunchy things and feeling new textures and stuff. And it was one of the That's It fruit bars. So it wasn't like a huge wrapper, but also not like a candy. It wasn't super small either. And so I handed it to her, and she's in the stage where she likes to put things in her mouth because I think her teeth are coming in eventually. And so she like had it in her mouth, and I looked at her, and she had it in her mouth, and I looked up, and then I looked back down, and the wrapper's gone. And common sense is like it blew away in the wind. Like that's the 90% chance that it just blew away. But in my head, I'm like, she swallowed this wrapper. Like, and so what do? First thing, I don't pause and look at her to see like, okay, she's breathing fine. Like she's literally chewing on the next thing. Like there was no sign. There would be obvious signs if she swallowed a wrapper that big. Like, and obviously she couldn't have, I mean, the odds of her cramming this whole thing in her throat, very slim. It could happen, and I need to be more aware, and that's, like, one of the things with 2 under 2, or I guess Weston's not under 2 now, but, like, with 2 little kids, they're a lot of work and they require constant attention, so there's, like, that side of it, but also, what did I do? First thing, I searched on ChatGPT, like, would there be signs if my daughter swallowed a wrapper? Blah, 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 like, I just kept spiraling, and we're at the zoo, and I'm like, "Erin, there would be signs. You're okay." Like, I had to, like, talk myself down, and so there's just been things like that where I realized because I have the option to know more, I can't rest in what I do know, and that's just, like, a temptation with ChatGPT that I have realized, like, is not good for me. Knowing more like, being informed is great and all, but that's not where peace comes from. So, yeah, that's that. That's an update on, I feel like, what I've been learning and realizing and trying to wrestle with because the other thing is just the self-control aspect of it, like, okay, when we have access to it, similar to, like, any other temptation of social media or sugar or any of these things, like, how do you stop once that's become a habit? I've just been, like, trying to figure out what my boundaries are gonna be around it because I don't wanna seek it first. I wanna seek the Lord first, and I also just wanna use my brain and rest in what experience God has walked me through to give me confidence in my abilities as a mom, and also just, like, again, common sense. So, yes, that's been, I think, the last couple weeks for me.
No, I feel like thank you for opening up about that because anxiety is like a real thing. And I think most moms have struggled with it where it's like you feel so anxious about something that you don't even need to feel anxious about. And I think a lot of it is hormonal and being a mom, like I also think part of that is God's design. So we are like more aware of things
Mhm.
when it comes to our babies, but sometimes it gets to the point where it's like, okay, this is like
Yeah.
debilitating and not God's design. We are trying to control everything. And what you were talking about was reminding me of a chapter in the book None Like Him by Jen Wilkin. My Bible study is going through that, and it was talking, there was a chapter on how God is omnipresent. Basically, the whole premise of the book is like God has these characteristics that we don't have. And so God is all knowing and we are not. And this was written before ChatGPT was even a thing.
Mm.
But as I was reading it, she was talking about how like the very thing that we think will give us peace, which in this case, I do the same thing, like ask ChatGPT a million questions. It's actually doing quite the opposite. Like what will give us peace is sitting and with our savior and bringing our cares to him instead of running to ChatGPT. I think we would find so much more peace in running to God. So what you're talking about, I'm convicted of that too because I do the same thing. Like I feel like I've gotten a little I feel like my anxiety was like early postpartum, maybe like the first 3 months it was really bad. And I feel like it's gotten better since then and it ebbs and flows. Some days I'm like super chill and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's fine." And then other days I'm not. So I think that's just postpartum, and I've always been a little bit of an anxious person, so it comes and goes. And right now, I feel like I'm in a stage where I'm not as anxious, but I know it
Mhm.
changes like every day with
Well, I find it
everything.
interesting too because I actually when you talk about hormonal changes, I was actually researching at work the other day just how a woman's brain changes after she has a baby. Because I think I felt it after my first like, when I went back to work, just that, like, things were different, like, things didn't weren't firing as quickly as they used to, but this time around, like, it's been really hard to get back in the swing of things, not just because of, the motivation piece,
Mhm.
but because my brain just feels different, like and it's because our brain literally changes to be focused more on, like, feelings and, like, the senses of what our baby's, like, experiencing, like, our brain literally rewires, which is a good thing, like, it's the protection instincts and the things that moms have that dads necessarily don't, so that's a good thing, but also, yeah, my brain at work, like, that's another thing I've just felt like I'm not firing on all cylinders, and it's frustrating, but also I'm, like, thankful for it because that's the design, but, like, that's been another hard thing too.
Yeah, I feel it a lot of brain fog and, like, I feel that as well. Probably not as much as you because I don't have 2, but I feel like the hormonal changes are just crazy postpartum, but I feel like I've had different struggles in postpartum. I feel like lately, well, 6 months kind of hit us like a truck, but I feel like breastfeeding was like super seamless the first 6 months,
Mm.
and I'm incredibly thankful for that, and it's just been very difficult recently, and I haven't been working that much, so maybe that's part of it because I guess he does get bottles during the day, but he's just like been biting a lot, and I've tried everything, like saying no, yelling ow, flicking him. He laughs at everything. He's a very defiant guy. He laughs at everything. Like, no, so I'm like, he thinks it's funny. And he like he's drawn blood multiple times. It's just like
Oh, no.
because he has he's been teething too, and he has 2
Yeah,
teeth. So it's just like I'm like I don't know if I should just keep fighting this or pump. I don't know because breastfeeding is very convenient. Like I have enjoyed that aspect of it, but I
yeah,
just feel like it's way more seamless when he gets a bottle. Like he's just like way more content and, like, he's pretty fussy when I'm trying to breastfeed him and, like,
yeah.
gets super wiggly, so I don't know what to do about that,
Mhm,
what
mhm.
I'm gonna do. I mean, I feel like I took a lot of time off up until this next week, so I will be working more, so it's like
Yeah,
wouldn't be, like, horrible because I do pump already at work, but it's just, like, I enjoy the time that I do get to breastfeed, and I enjoy not, like, cleaning pump parts and bottles,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
Yeah, 6 months, man.
6 months is rough.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's been, like, our biggest struggle, so just I don't know what to do. I'm like, I keep hoping it'll get better, and then it doesn't get better, and I think that's also causing since he's not doesn't it's hard for me to eat at the breast, and he's, like, waking up hungry at
Yeah,
night, so it's like because he's fine when he, like, gets bottles during the day when I'm working. It's, like, when I'm not working that I feel like he doesn't get enough during the day. So and I know my supply is fine, it's just he's having I don't know if he's a preference or teething has thrown, I feel like, a wrench into a lot of things.
right.
Teething has he's been, like, fine overall, like, teething. He's not, like, super duper fussy with it, but I'm like, is that I feel like anything that goes wrong, you can, like, link it back to teething, but, like, is it really linked to teething?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, he's waking up at night because he's teething. He gets congested when he's teething too, so then that
Yeah.
is, like, a thing. So, yeah, teething's been fun. I think we're going through that, and I don't know what is teething and what is just his personality.
Mhm.
So, that's fun developmentally. Starting solids is, like, not my favorite thing. I feel like it's getting better. I've been using the Solid Starts app, which I feel like has helped a lot in, like, preparing food.
Mhm.
So, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with that, and I feel like he now the first couple weeks, he was, like, not super interested, but now he's, like, more interested in it. So, I feel like that makes it easier because before I was just, like
Yeah.
he didn't like it, but now it seems like he's liking most of the food, like, that I give him, and it's nice having that app to, like, know how to prepare things, but it's, like, not I don't like cleaning up the mess. I don't like preparing the food.
It's
I
so
feel like
much work.
yeah, it's, like, a lot of work, but it's kinda fun at the same time to, like, see him try new
Mhm.
things, but
Yeah, I feel like like with Weston, it was a lot of work, but it was, like, fun and exciting. With Haven, it's just a lot of work. Like, it's exciting for her, like, it's new for her, but it's, like, I think the excitement of, "Oh, a baby's eating food," is already kinda past.
yeah. You're just like, "Okay, yeah."
But she's so funny. I tried giving her purees. Literally, this girl just wants meat, and
Mhm.
it's terrifying to see her just, like, chew on a piece of steak and literally get pieces off and then manage them fine. I don't know if you listened to it, there was one episode of Culture Apothecary that was talking about, like, the airway and our jaws
Yeah.
and our teeth and everything and how, like, we're designed to chew and that, like, helps our jaw development. But literally watching her, I'm like, "Wow, this is, like, a literal instinct." Like, it's cool to watch the design, but it's also, like, terrifying when the propaganda about, like, with baby food has been totally the opposite. It's been, like, mush and, like I mean, that makes sense when babies don't have teeth, like, that
Yeah.
computes in my brain, but also to watch her, I'm like, "Yeah, she doesn't want anything else. She just wants to chew on food."
It's more scary when they do have teeth because James can bite off, like, huge
Yeah.
pieces of things, and he's been fine, but I'm like he don't really
Yeah.
just, like, spit it out if he
Right.
gets, like, a huge piece. That does stress me out. I do like a mix, I feel like, of everything. He kind of likes things, like, mashed up, and he just grabs it with his hands and puts his finger in his mouth. I don't know, but some things I mash, some things I give him whole. I basically use the Solid Starts app, and it does both, which has been helpful, but, yeah, I feel like he likes just gooey stuff on his hand.
Mhm.
We have introduced, like, peanut butter, so I feel like that is, like, a weight lifted because I was really nervous about not really nervous, but, like, you're always like, "Am I kid gonna die from peanut allergy?"
Yeah.
So, that's
See,
part
with Weston, I
stressful.
was never nervous, but with Haven, since she does have the eczema, like, I'm nervous more because like, that usually points to potentially having a, like, allergy, so anyway, there's just more to stress about, things I wasn't stressed about before. Probably
Yeah.
because I have too much information, like, if I didn't know that eczema was linked to allergies, I wouldn't be stressed.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day because I do feel like the crunchy world gives me more anxiety, so sometimes I feel like I have to, like, take a break from, like, consuming
Mhm.
content 'cause I'm just like, I this is, like, a lot for me right now, and sometimes I feel like I can put it as a place of an idol in my life, which I felt really early postpartum. I feel like I dealt with my anxiety through learning more about, like, crunchy things, and I was like
Yeah.
Matt was gone, and I was, like, really in the thick of, like, the crunchy world, which I love
Mhm.
learning about that stuff, and
Yeah.
I, like, see a lot of benefit in it, but I feel like it got to the point where it's like an idol, and it was running from my anxiety by, like, listening to that, and
Mhm.
so I still listen to it sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
a break, I need to
No.
listen to something else." But, yeah, when you know a lot, that also makes you more anxious about everything. Because if there's something wrong, you're like, "What did I do?" Like, and you're trying to, like and sometimes, like, there's nothing that you did do, and it's just, like, how things are, but in your brain, you're like, "Something I must have done something wrong."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like that part is stressful. But I'll just say, yeah, 6 months is rough. I feel like James's sleep has been like we haven't been in a routine because we've had like my friends were in town this past weekend, which was super fun. And then I think my mom was in town. We were like, have probably had guests for a long time. And so I feel like James is just kind of like, eh,
Right.
which ultimately like affects his sleep at some point. So I'm trying to get him a little bit back on more of a routine, hoping that that helps because he does thrive on routine, like, I find he takes way better naps when he takes them at the same time every day, whereas if I put him
Yeah.
down at, like, a time that's not his normal time, he takes a really short nap, so I like being flexible, but also sometimes I'm like, it is nice when he's happier when he's on a schedule and
Yeah.
he's sleeping better
Yeah.
when he's on a schedule. I don't have too much of a life update, but I feel like it's officially summer, and I feel like with it being the semi-quincentennial, like America 250. It's been like super patriotic summer already, which has been fun. Like I feel like stores, I don't remember seeing like this much like patriotic stuff. And so I feel like I'm just really excited for summer, which I feel like last year I didn't even know it was summer because I was pregnant and like
Yeah.
dying. So it's like fun to actually be able to enjoy a summer. And this past weekend, my friends were in town and I like did all of the things that are my favorite things to do in Virginia Beach in the summer. And it was super fun just to like be a tourist in your hometown and kind of like romanticize your days. And I feel like that's something that I really want to work on this summer is like slowing down and being present because I find that I have a lot more joy when I do that. And also my husband will be like deployed probably in like August. We really have this summer together. So I really want to like slow down and be present with him and our son and just like make good memories. That's like something I really want to enjoy and also not just like rush through things and like fill my time with like busyness and being productive and all that. I really want to just, yeah, have a good summer with my family. But going off of that, since I feel like that's what I've been trying to do lately, I figured we could share a few of our summer bucket list items because I've listened to a few podcasts on this and it's just fun to hear like what everyone's
Mhm.
goals are for the summer and just like fun things you want to do because I feel like sometimes I get so busy and not slow down and like take the time to do things that I actually want to do. And then I look back and I'm like, I feel like I wasted like the whole season doing nothing. So, anyways, all that to say, I can start. I feel like we can go one after the other
Yeah,
and
sounds
just
good.
share.
I'm really glad that you brought up this idea because I think for me in the summertime on the East Coast where it's very humid, which I'm not used to. It's been 8 years now that I've been on the
Mhm.
East Coast,
Yeah.
but growing up, it was never humid in the summer, and it was beautiful. Like, Washington summers are amazing. So here, I think it's a temptation for me to just, like, get through, like, try to survive the summer, but I'm glad you brought this up because I was able to think through some things that I, like, am looking forward to and want to capitalize on and not just, like, brute force my way through the heat. Like, I wanna enjoy the summer, so this was a good topic.
Yeah. I know. Cause there are parts, I also struggle with the heat, but I've always lived in hot areas. So I'm probably a little more used to it, but I feel like there's still fun things to do. Even this weekend, this is on my bucket list, so I guess I'll just get into it. But go strawberry picking. It's
Mm.
like that's like an early summer activity. I feel like it's kind of nearing the end of strawberry picking season, but I've never been and I've always wanted to go. So we went this past weekend and it was 90 degrees, but it actually was not that bad. I feel like it was a drier heat than it usually is. So, but that was super fun to go strawberry picking with them, and then we, like, made a dessert, strawberry shortcake. So I feel like that is, like, a fun activity, and it's just fun to be outside. Like, I really would love to be outside a lot this summer, even though it is hot, but I feel like I feel my best when I'm spending a lot of time outdoors.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, especially with the kids. Like, Weston does a lot better when he's outside. It's just managing managing the times when you go outside. I think with a middle of the day nap time for him, it's nice because, like, we go outside first thing in the morning, like, on the weekends, and it's not usually too hot then. Something on my bucket list, which we started the process last night, is, really utilizing our front porch. Since we moved into this house, like, our front porch is really nice, but, like, it's just sat there, like, kind of barren since we moved in. Like, I had thoughts of, like, what I wanted to do with it, like, get really cute, comfy furniture where I can sit outside in the morning, read my Bible. We have string lights. Like, I thought it was gonna be, like, this cozy spot I sat. I just didn't get around to, like, making it what I wanted to, and I just haven't ever sat out there, but we finally with my mom coming, my mom's gonna come next week, and she'll be here for the summer to watch our kids, and I really wanted to make it a space that, like, she can utilize because it also makes for a really nice, like, playpen. Just, like, if you block off the steps, like, it's a really good place to, like, have contained play. When you have 2, like, it's easy to manage them both up there, and so we finally, like, ordered, like, basically some gym mats to lay on the floor so that Haven can just lay there, like, a cute we got a road carpet for Weston so he can play with his cars, but it's still, like, pretty cute, and then we got the string lights up, we got this nice, like, reclining love seat, basically, like, we just got a few things to make it cozy, so I'm really excited to do that. I'm finally, like, taking action on that idea that I had, like, back when we first found this house, so I'm excited about that.
I feel like we're also doing a very similar thing because when we moved in 2024 that summer, so we didn't have time to, like ours is our backyard and our front yard, we're also working on that. But we moved in, so you're, like, moving, and then the next summer I was pregnant, so it's like and Matt, I think, was gone for like, probably half the summer, so we didn't do anything. But this summer, he's home, and this summer I feel, like, way better. So we're also doing a lot to our backyard because we didn't really have anywhere to sit, like, outside. So my husband built, like, a gazebo, which is, like, super nice to have, like, some shade because
Yeah.
people who owned our house prior to us filled in, like, most of our backyard with concrete, which is just an interesting choice. But we're trying to make it cute, and it is nice for, like, there's not as, like, a ton of messes and stuff
Mhm.
with it being mostly concrete, but it's hard to, like, figure out what to do with it, but I feel like having the gazebo and we have, like, furniture underneath there to, like, sit, and then got, like, a little play corner for James with, like, some seats over there, and my mom actually sent us a splash pad, and
Mhm,
then so
mhm,
he's been sitting in that, and that's been super fun. And then one thing I also did with my friends this weekend that I'm so excited about, I got, like, these 2 huge garden beds, like, raised
mhm,
ones that
mhm,
are on our concrete, and one of my good friends, she makes a lot of bouquets and, like, plants all her own flowers and everything, and, like, has a garden. She's very good at that stuff because it's very intimidating.
mhm,
I have no idea how to do any of that, but she helped me. So I did 2 garden beds, one with flowers that you can, like she basically picked the flowers that if I, like, make a bouquet, they'll, like, grow back. So I can, like, cut
mm,
them and they'll, like, grow
yeah,
back and stuff. So one is that, and then one is, like, a small vegetable garden. I really just did, like, tomatoes and bell peppers and cucumbers and carrots, just
mhm,
vegetables that I
mhm,
eat regularly. And so we'll see how that all goes. All this is like part of my summer bucket list to like start having a green thumb.
yeah,
But I think next summer I'll like get more into it and we'll do more with our side yard is like more grassy. So I'd like to have like a bigger garden over there. But for now we're starting small. And so I feel like that's something fun to just be able to work with my hands, I feel like, because we're so on our phones and on technology, just doing that brings me a lot of joy, and then we're also working on the front yard, just, like, more landscaping stuff, but I've been wanting to put shutters up since we moved in, and I'm telling Matt that that's happening this summer because I love shutters. Our house is like a brick ranch house, so I feel like it needs shutters, and I think it used to have them because you can see where they used to hang them up, but hopefully that gets done. I have bought shutters 2 years ago. I only bought, like, 2 to see if they would fit,
mm,
and we still haven't done it, but and then I also planted hydrangeas this weekend, which was on my bucket list too, because I just love hydrangeas and I was seeing them all over our neighborhood. So I bought some and planted them. So that is also bringing me a lot of joy. Just yeah, making your outdoor space nice. I feel like it's a lot of effort, but I feel like it's well worth it for the amount of time that you're going to spend like outside.
yeah, it's a lot of effort, and I think it can like, if you just wanna buy everything to make it
Expensive.
nice, like, it can be costly, yeah. I feel like I'm really blessed because my dad, when we first moved in, built our garden boxes, and then my mother-in-law has been the one to maintain them, so I feel like I've reaped the benefit of garden boxes, but I haven't, like, done it myself, so I too am, like, trying to, like 'cause I like to have a task to do outside. Because I feel like when I am, like, kinda busy doing something out there, Weston will entertain him like, be better at entertaining himself, but when I'm just, like, kinda sitting there watching him, then he wants me, obviously, to play with him. So I wanna have a task, like, that I can do while he's out there playing so we can all kinda do our thing outside, and I actually just last night trimmed my hydrangea to put in a vase because I think you can like, I learned that you can dry out hydrangeas and they stay pretty. Because ours is, like, in a weird, like, corner spot where you can't really see it, like, it's not. Because I thought about leaving them and just, like, looking at them there, but then I was like, "Well, I kinda wanna look at these inside because this is, like, a hidden spot," but anyway, so I love hydrangeas too. So, yeah, getting outside, making your outside space more visually and just practically usable. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. I think another thing for me this summer that I'm trying to do more of, which is easier when babies are sleeping when they're supposed to, is just hanging out with friends and just getting back into a routine of like fellowship. We've been going to a small group, but as far as like one on one girl time, it's been limited. I was really glad to have, like, the trip down to see you and Holly, and I spent a lot of time with Rachel, but it's all been, like, with the kids, which is great, but I also just wanna make time for, like, more in-depth, like, conversation time and things like that, and just fun stuff. I was talking to a girl at my Bible study, and she's also, like, a young mom, and we were just talking about how, like, not to, like, be really dramatic, but, like, we can't really remember the last time we, like, laughed, like, like, really joyfully laughed, and so I just want to laugh this summer and have fun this summer, like, good, healthy, clean fun, and so me and Rachel are going to a Forrest Frank concert this weekend. That'll be really fun. And then a few girls in my church, we wanna do, like, a board night. I don't know if you've seen that on Instagram where, like, every girl brings a different type of, like, charcuterie board. So we wanna do that, just like a random, simple, fun. So that's another thing on my list.
Having time with for female friendships is so important. I feel like I also don't get a ton of that without James, but he's a baby, so it's, like, kind of a little bit easier, but I feel like I don't often get the chance to, like, go anywhere without him. But I do my women's Bible study once a week, but going off of that, on my bucket list is to do bouquet night once my flowers grow in with my
Mhm,
Bible study. That's, like
mhm.
I feel like that's something fun that I really wanna do, but it's probably gonna be a couple months. I think it takes a couple months for the flowers to, like, actually bloom, but that's on my bucket list to do that because I feel like that'd be super fun.
Yeah, a few other random things that I have, I wanna go to the aquarium because it is inside and air conditioned. When my mom is here with Weston, we went when he was, like, really little, but it was, like, when he was too little to really, like, see or enjoy any of it. So I wanna do that potentially this summer. It just gets really like, it's a national aquarium in Baltimore, and it's a really good aquarium, but it's so packed, and you can't take strollers, which is kind of unfortunate. So you have to have, like Caven would have to be in the carrier, and Weston can walk now, but, like, before that was hard because yeah, strollers are a nice nice thing to have to hold all your stuff too. So anyway, I wanna do that. And then just like a last random thing is I want to swim. And this is like duh, like a summer thing. But I mean this, like I grew up swimming, like I was on swim team in high school and like played water polo at the academy and stuff. And we have a Y membership and in the summer they take the cover off the pool. So it's like an outdoor pool in the summer. And once Haven's sleeping better, I would love to like go early in the mornings like when it's hot out to swim. One, because like the physical exercise is great, but also because of just like the natural sunlight, being outside first thing in the morning sounds great. So I really want to do that. And then also with Weston, I really want to prioritize swimming and doing lessons. We did like we've done two mommy and me classes, like one when he was like not even one, and then one recently when I was on maternity leave. But I think I'm learning how he learns. Like, I feel like 2 is, like, the start of, like, understanding how, like, to best teach him and how he learns, and I think part of that is just, like, discerning what things, like, that I would be the best person to teach him how to do, but then also, like, what things, like, he might listen better to somebody else, like another authority figure in his life, and one of our friend's grandparents, Devon's grandparents, they have a pool that we've gone to in the summertime, and then Devon's sister actually is a swim instructor at a different pool, so she's gonna come in the summer and do, like, one-on-one lessons with him at their pool, and so I'm gonna just, like, be able to see how he responds to, like, another teacher because I do think it's important to learn how to be comfortable with other adults and, like, learn from other adults in addition to, like, us as his parents, and so I want no, that's like a few that's accomplishing a few different things. It's one, getting in the water because it's fun in the summer. It's also teaching him how to swim because that's an important skill, and just, like, continuing to learn how he learns and how he receives instruction best.
I think it's so cute when kids do swimming lessons. I'm excited when James is that age and he can learn how to swim because I've also seen, like, babies, like, his age, I guess his and Haven's age, like, they throw him in the water and then they, like, rotate,
Crazy,
which
yeah.
I could see a lot of benefit in that if you, like, have a
Yeah,
pool. We don't go to a
yeah.
pool enough to, like, make it worth it, but if I had a pool in my backyard, I would be doing that. I think it's cool that they learn how to do that, but I have a couple, like, tiny ones that I'll just, like,
Yeah.
say. I wanna find a babysitter. That's, like, one of my goals. I have friends who could watch James, but they have kids, so it's just, like, I wanna find maybe someone who doesn't have kids so that Matt and I can, like, go on some solo evenings together
Yeah.
before he leaves. So that's on my bucket list. We'll see, because we don't really have we maybe had people watch him a couple times, but it's always after he goes to bed, and it's been, like,
Mhm.
family. We don't have family here, so it's like, well,
Yeah.
we gotta figure something out. I wanna go to the beach. I It's a whole thing to go to the beach, but I feel like I always enjoy it when I'm there, even though it doesn't last long with the baby, but James would normally, like I have a little tent, he'll, like, sleep in it for so we went to the beach this last weekend, and it was nice. We only went for a couple hours, it's, like, probably the max we could do, but he slept in his little tent, and I just laid out, but it's a whole thing, so you have to bring so much gear to go to the beach. It's, like, a lot of work kind of,
Yeah.
but
And
we
as
live
they
near the
start to
beach.
move more and more, it'll be more work.
Yeah, because right now he just can lay there, but then it's also more fun because then they, like and because James doesn't care for the beach, like, he
Right.
doesn't I
Once
think he
they're
likes
eating
the
sand,
sand.
it's more fun.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, he puts everything in his mouth these days,
Yeah.
but I feel like once it is harder when they get older, but also
Mhm.
they're, like, entertained by things
Yeah.
So that is on there. And then also, even though there's not a lot you can do with a 6-month-old in the summer that they're enjoying, it's more for you. But I would love to do like backyard pool days. We have like a blow up pool, and then, like I said, he has a splash pad. So I really would like to utilize that because I feel like that'd be fun because then I can be outside and he can be outside. And he really loves the splash pad. So that's on my bucket list to do that more, especially when it's hot. Another thing, I wanna go to all the local farmers markets here, which there are a lot.
Mm. Mhm.
I've been to a few already, but there are, like, a few more I still wanna hit up because I just it's fun way to be outside in the morning and also, like, get local produce,
Yeah,
and I think
that's a good
that
idea.
I have one more actually. Yeah. I wanna do a little weekend getaway with Matt and Jane one of the weekends, like a weekend trip. I'm thinking I'm like either the Outer Banks or DC, but I
Mhm,
think I wanna go to Chincoteague because I love Chincoteague. Matt has never been there. I just have been there for work, like not
mhm.
overnight, but just for like inspections, and I think it's such a cute little town. So maybe we'll do a weekend trip there, but I wanna do a weekend trip somewhere.
No,
That's on
those
my
are
list.
yeah, you're giving me good ideas. I think the farmer's market's a really good idea for sure because it doesn't have to be like a long outing. Like that can be pretty simple, but something you do on
Yeah,
the
it's not
weekend.
too hard except for parking if you're at a busy farmer's
Yeah.
market is a bad part. But yeah, I feel like I'm there for like less than an hour and then
Mhm,
I normally just get some produce
mhm.
usually.
Yeah, that's good. You gave me some good ideas. Yeah, I am excited for summer. I think the date night thing is also something we wanna do, especially since my mom will be here in the evenings. Like, we can, like, after the kids go to bed,
Yeah.
like, go play pickleball or go do something, and most of the time after the kids go to bed, we're just, like, lazy and don't wanna do anything or go anywhere. But when we do, we have a lot of fun, and so I think Owen and I have gotten in a good rhythm recently of, like, getting back to prioritizing each other, which is just it sounds kind of sad to think that there's times when we're not, but things just get busy and, like,
Yeah.
work and kids and logistics of the house and everything take up a lot of time. So it's, easy to just put marriage on the back burner, but I also wanna prioritize just fun friendship with my husband.
Yeah, same. That's like a goal of mine this summer, which is hard with kids, but you can make it work.
Right. Yeah, we're learning how to make it work. Yeah, I think the last thing for me is just taking care of my body. I feel like summer, especially, like, the first postpartum summer, you're like, "Wow, okay." Just in the sense of, like, I mean, I'm not wearing sweaters, baggy
Yeah.
sweaters anymore. And so, I mean, it's just easier to notice, like, things with your body, but also I do feel good, like, when I'm able to get outside and be active, like, I feel healthy, and just the craziest thing happened to me last week. I This might be TMI, but I started my period last week, which was very on par because I started same thing 7 months, like, a couple months after I went back to work with Weston, so I was anticipating it, but it was also kind of a bummer. I'm like, "Oh, it would be nice to not deal with this." But I thought it was the craziest thing. I had probably been hanging on to, like, 10 pounds over, like, pre-baby weight, like, for the last couple months.
Yeah, that's how I
I
feel.
I literally lost, like, 7 pounds the week of my period. Like, this was crazy. I looked it
Can't
up,
wait.
and this could just be, like, ChatGPT telling me this just to make me feel better, but they said that, like, your uterus actually, like, kinda holds onto some water weight, and then when you have your first period, sometimes it, like, flushes things out that, like, we're just lingering from pregnancy, so I was like, "Well, that's, I guess, a nice part of it," and I do feel good in the sense that, like, I think when your body can get back in the cyclical rhythm that women's bodies are designed for, I think that when you learn to recognize, like, how to best plan your days around it, like, I feel healthy. I feel like I've been on a really good, consistent workout routine. It's nothing, like, crazy, but just the consistency. Like, I've been going off of the motto that we, like, talked about early on in the year of, like, the best workout routine is something you can stick with, and so it hasn't been crazy, but it's been consistent, and I'm feeling strong. So that's been something I've been, like, thankful for, but also looking forward to continuing, just capitalizing on the time not pregnant, and this is like this warrants a whole episode in and of itself, but just, like, thinking about future kids and, like, wanting to be prepared in general, not just pregnancy, but in general, wanting my body to be prepared for whatever God calls it to. I found a new, like, motivation for taking care of it and, like, a new mindset about it that, like, it's not because I wanna look a certain way or be able to accomplish a certain thing, it's just because I wanna be prepared to say yes
Mhm.
confidently to whatever God calls me to, even if that is running around the backyard chasing my toddler. Because, like, when you're exhausted and have low energy and not physically fit and don't have the muscle, like, that's hard. That takes a
Mhm.
lot out of you, and I don't want that to take a lot out of me. I wanna be able to easily say yes to a dance party in the kitchen when he wants to and not just feel sluggish all the time.
No, that's exciting about the weight coming off
Yeah, it was
after the
interesting.
first period. I'm like, well, excited for that. I did have one 7 weeks, like, postpartum, but have not had one since. So,
That's so interesting. Still
yeah,
very interesting to me.
I know. But, yeah, I'm thankful I haven't had another one, but I'm hopefully, because 'cause I'm the same way. I feel like I'm just gonna hold on to, like, the last 10 pounds probably till I'm done breastfeeding,
Well, and
but
that's the other thing, I'm like, "Okay, but there is a push to, like, keep your" I think it's tempting to be like, "Okay, like, I wanna, like, continue this weight loss in, like, the good way," but it's also like, "Okay, I need to, like, continue to get the calories in because I don't want my milk supply to drop." So,
yeah, exactly. So, there's a lot to
yeah.
think about, but I'm excited that we got to talk about all things summer because 'cause I'm feeling it's not too hot here yet that I'm, like, despising summer. So,
Right.
it's,
Yes.
like, the fun phase of summer.
It's the hopeful phase of summer.
Mhm. And then in August, it's like, "Give me the
Yeah,
fall."
you're over it.
Yeah. But that's the beautiful thing about seasons, I feel like, right when I'm, like, over it, it changes, so,
Yes. No, I could not live in a place that doesn't have seasons,
yeah.
honestly, because 'cause I'm always ready for the next one.
Mhm. Me
Well,
too.
yeah, thanks for having this idea for this episode, and thank you everyone for listening. This is gonna be our only episode for June just because we are busy with, well, for us, work stuff, particularly with all of the America 250 events going on and just the kickoff to the new summer routine. So we will pick it back up in July with our 2 scheduled more formal episodes. But until then, thanks for listening. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, all the things, reaching out if you have episode ideas. We'd love to hear from you.
And watch
And
Erin's videos on YouTube. She is posting on YouTube again, and they've been really good, so go
yeah,
check out her YouTube channel.
yeah, eventually we'll talk about that too, because every like couple months I get this itch to be an influencer, you guys, and I just have to scratch it sometimes. Because yeah, if you don't know, I had a YouTube channel back when I was at the academy, and I posted videos every week. Don't know how that even happened. Like I can't. I
Yeah, it's
look back and I'm
crazy.
like, that it was insane. But I do enjoy making videos a lot, and so every once in a while I like to bring it back out. I also just I think I realize I just when I feel confident about something, I like sharing the information I've learned. And so, yeah, the video I posted today was about military being pregnant in the military. So if that applies to you, go check it out. Anyway, with that, this has been Erin and Liz helping you mind your mission.